She loves the apple stalk. I only buy apples with stalks on them. Good girl. Poor little girl. I'll just get a bit of food ready for poor Dorothy. She's a gorgeous tree kangaroo that I raised from 400, 500 grams and rehabilitated her in the forest, and all that went very well. And very sadly, about a year ago, she was blind in one eye, and then at Christmas, last Christmas, I realized that she actually had a cataract in the other eye as well. Tree kangaroos are true kangaroos. They belong to the macropod family. They are they are the youngest macropod in evolution, the oldest being the musky rat kangaroo. And these guys, as ungainly as they look, have actually decided to become browsers rather than grazers, to live off rainforest leaves predominantly. So they have just gone back up in the trees, and sometimes when you see one in the tree, I mean, they're just so big and bulky. It's hard to imagine how they could climb successfully. I came to the Atherton tablelands in 1972 and have seen a lot of changes in that time. It's probably one of the most amazing areas in Australia even, certainly Queensland, especially when you love nature, because we have an incredible biodiversity here of both plants and animals. There is a group in Atherton, which I've been a founding member of, the Tree, Kangaroo and Mammal group. We feel we have done a fair bit for tree kangaroos, probably the most important being to raise people's awareness. And when I say that, I mean that a lot of locals did not know that tree kangaroos exist, and I mean people that were born and bred here. Good girl. I'm a zookeeper by trade. I learned in Stuttgart in Germany. I did my apprenticeship there and worked another 4 years at Stuttgart Zoo before I came to this place when I was 22, and it's been my world ever since. Even if you don't work at a zoo anymore, you don't just give this up. You don't. It's sort of, well, I would call it a passion. I've been a wildlife carer pretty much from when I first came to Australia. People bring animals in, or the vets contact us, and that sort of thing. People have become quite interested in looking after wildlife, and it is just so exciting because, you know, whilst every animal is gorgeous to look after, it's just the challenge of the diversity of animals that we have up here, which is absolutely stunningly wonderful. The sad part is that getting the joeys in means that there is a dead mother, and you can only ever be second best. But the other alternative, of course, is that the joeys die a slow death. I've had 2 animals brought in this morning, and they were quite traumatized. This is a little paddy melon, and this poor little man was just sitting in someone's yard crying, and he's so dehydrated, and he's very skinny. So I'm giving them electrolytes and formula, of course. See how skinny he is and how dehydrated. Look at that. Oh, there comes trouble. That's Lily-Pilly. Lily-Pilly is the same type of animal than this one is. Hey? Lily-Pilly was much smaller than you are now. This is an animal that very rarely comes into care, fortunately, and it's obviously because the lifestyle that these animals have. I've only ever looked after one Limeroid possum before. Very secretive, very, very arboreal. They just never come down from trees. This one's mother was actually killed by a cat. Must have been a pretty large cat. This little girl was in the pouch. People would only drive that little bit slower, especially on dawn and dusk, and at night. I mean, for all animals, but these magnificent creatures just deserve that we look after them a little bit more. And of course also dogs should be locked up, particularly at night. But there are a lot of people that find tree kangaroos as exciting as I do. I've had many times where animals have just, not only been released, but released successfully, have been monitored for years and had joeys themselves or raised young or fathered young, and it's just, very special when you can witness that. It's very special.